Hello and welcome. My name's Trismegistus, and I think things are working again. I'm really not getting the hang of this restream thing, but I think stuff might be coming through. I can't see anything on my monitoring things. That's not very good, is it? Why has that not come through? Let's have a Oh, there we go. One of them. No? Oh, that's there. Why is it not showing on my other thing then? Hey, there we go. Everything is all working. Kind of ish, maybe. Cool. Well, welcome all. So, hello, LMTO. And who else we got here? Senna, a welcome. Baker Magician. And Alternate Plays, hello. And Jay Matcha, I hope you're all doing well. Good afternoon to you all, and good day. Cool. I need to get the live stream for YouTube up as well, don't I? In case there's anyone watching there. That should be okay now. Just watch your a 1 hour review about Redacted. Yes, I did try and sort of give a bit of a. I didn't know, I don't want to imply that I'd got some early, preview or something, but I had a very strong suspicion when they announced that the embargo was the embargo came with this request not to talk about Aquilo, as it turns out, and the end game. And I figured that the reason they were lifting that, because it was just a request, it was sort of a, we would like you not to, rather than, it wasn't a requirement of the embargo. And I kind of figured, well, the reason they've taken that request, because they literally did an announcement saying, you can talk, you can say anything, basically. You can literally cover absolutely anything. And I kind of figured, well, maybe that's because they're going to explain what it is before anyone else gets a chance. They didn't cover the end game, though, which is interesting. What else comments we got there? So, I am getting, you'll notice in some of the videos, though, it's a little difficult sometimes to talk about. Well, I should, for anyone catching up on VODs later on, this was the most recent Friday Facts, as you might have guessed from what I was saying earlier, which was Friday Facts 432 Aquilo. Oops, which I've already opened. Where we found out, or you found out, about the next planet. So this is a frozen planet, but it's also completely liquid. So it's basically an ammonia ocean, which is an interesting idea. And what I didn't say in the video, because I wasn't entirely sure, there was a slightly different reason for me not to say it, but it's basically the mechanic of building your, is like C block basically. So it's like their version of C block light, essentially. So these platforms that you build are made out of ice, which you essentially filter out of the ammonia ocean. You have to put concrete down on basically everything. There are some things that you can build on the ice, but essentially you need concrete everywhere. So what you're effectively doing is creating these floating platforms. They don't actually float, though, so they don't go anywhere. They don't move. And as it explained in this Friday Facts, I didn't know this. They'd obviously tried out the whole, it floods if it gets, or free, it floods if it gets too hot and all that sort of stuff. And clearly found that was just too annoying, which doesn't surprise me that they did that. This is a great building. So I guess I can talk about it a bit more, but this is obviously the third building that was revealed on the original teaser, the green one. And I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's literally 2 days until the embargo, but it does basically imply that it's more to do with chemicals. So some chemical plant recipes, although that's not quite the focus of it. So people who are talking about, a level 2 chemical lab, this is vaguely in that area, but it's not specifically that. It's not like the foundry and EMP equivalent of a chemical plant. So it does do chemical recipes, though. Oh, what was that? Sorry, that took me by surprise. Sorry, I'm just trying to explain where we are with the thing, and then I'll pick up on the chats. Welcome all, whoever has come along. And yes, and the railgun. The railgun is a monster. This is it's interesting they've not shown the handheld version. There is a reason for that. I guess I won't kind of drop them in it, but yeah, the actual railgun itself has been in there for a while and does look awesome. It's interesting actually because the the Christmassy one, that was ages ago if you think about it. And so Aquila hasn't really changed a lot from what I understand. They've been pretty happy with the mechanics almost throughout it, really. So yeah, and it is an incredibly powerful weapon. It's like, I mean, it's I think if you do the maths, it's like not quite as powerful as a nuke technically, but the whole shooting in a line thing is like really useful for certain things, and it is really about, as you can see, this is them teasing what it's really for and about with the space related image or video. So maybe you could try and put 2 and 2 together, and I'm sure loads and loads of people will be saying what it's all about on Monday, but I won't. I'll be leaving that for later. So, welcomes and hellos. Welcome and hello, Golden Wolf on YouTube, and Emil Steenkamp, live from South Africa. Was about to watch the vid, but saw a live stream. So, I mean, quite a few people I know watch it in parallel. I've got pop-ups and all sorts of stuff on Twitch. That's all very confusing. But quite a few people do watch them in parallel sort of thing, so don't worry. I'm used to people sort of essentially ignoring what I'm saying. Cool. So, juggling all these windows is getting confusing. I need to get I need to replace all of my monitors, to be honest with you. They're all a bit rubbish. I do feel like the plants leaned into legal distinct mods territory, either as convergent thinking or just leaning into what people already liked. Yeah. I say it is basically C block. It is a lot easier though. It's not a tough thing to do. It does, as it says in the actual thing, take quite a while though. It's not quick. So I need to flip over to that, which is the game. I need to explain what I've done as well, because I have been busy with it. There's an islands map. Now there's a block of ice with a super slow start, indeed. Agriculture and Volcanus is a bit more of Novice Plus. Yeah, it is interesting. The mechanics they've introduced and sort of stuck with and stuff are very close to how it, I suppose is a good way of phrasing it. Some of the mods, but there are a lot of distinctions and differences. Can imagine what mod creators will be doing with all these new game engine features. I can't say yes. Coolness intensifies. Yeah, I mean, this is one of the best things about, because at the LAN party there are actually a lot of the people there were modders basically, and they have been engaged for quite a while because they've been given like a draft version of the API, as I understand it. So I don't think, from what I understand, and I've not done any modding and that, so I can't really talk from experience, but say from what I understand, quite a few of the mods are being worked on to get improved compatible, but it's quite a big list of changes, and particularly things like when data structures in the game change, it basically knackers all mods. If they're referring to the thing. So don't expect mods to work from day one is the thing I would kind of warn you of. I was a bit disappointed that the ice did not melt away at high temperatures. High heat seemed more, but I can imagine that it indeed was mostly annoying anyway. So I didn't play with that, so I can't really comment on whether it was actually annoying. Oh, there was a subscription. Thank you very much, LMTO. 2 months. Thank you for the renewing the subscription. That was what that diddly-do earlier was. That took me by surprise. Nice, says Senna. The railgun's noises were a bit grating when all of them were all on that platform. It's already solo. Alright solo, but when their sounds were all overlapping, it was a bit much. What they've shown you there. Oh, and thank you for the hydrate. Hello, Zaz Gamer. Hope you're doing well. But yes, so to build something like that in game, let me just tell you. No, I'm afraid there isn't an alert command on that one, but don't worry. Jamie Metcha, to build that, that's expensive. Let me put it that way. So I'm not sure you would practically be building quite something with that many of the things on. But yeah, I mean, they are loud when you really, and one thing you have to remember, it's very zoomed in, that thing. So normally you're actually looking from a bit distance, and and obviously the sounds are reduced when you're further away. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure they didn't like turn it up a bit as well, because I don't recall them being let loud when I was, you know, like next to them. But and of course you can always fiddle with your settings and change volumes and stuff. So yeah, they are loud though. But then a railgun in real life is pretty dang loud, because it is a obviously projectile travelling at a significant fraction of the speed of light. So what I've done basically is added an extension on here. This is the big thing, and this is an extra iron mine. Okay, and it has defences around it, which is, it took a little while. These red dots, I left them on because these were nests that I've cleared out. Because the other big thing I've been doing, because we are getting now into that territory where I'm kicking out a lot of pollution, and the biters are kind of a bit more evolved, and they've, you know, they're starting to do that thing where they start to encroach a lot more. And you can even see, you know, I've been, you know, as you can tell, I've been around and clearanced, and we've already got some extra ones there. So I wouldn't be surprised that, yeah, they seem to be really keen on this as well. It's interesting, actually, this area has had very few extra spawns. You know, there are a couple, but I haven't had to come and clear this out at all, which is kind of interesting, really. But yeah, so it's getting, you know, extra pollution here. And it doesn't help, of course, that this is ocean, which, as far as I'm aware, doesn't absorb pollution at all. But then there's absolutely no real trees over here. And that's why this is further down, obviously, and we got trees there. So yeah, that's the biggest thing I did. The other thing, I did make a couple of tiny tweaks. I made a couple of errors on the nuclear plant. These pipes weren't properly connected, for example. I did also stick a load of it in the steel chest, because while I was working away, I was intending to put bonuses on, you know, buffs, basically. But I'd left it on Covarex, so we have Covarex now. I also did nuclear reprocessing, so in theory we could do some of that here. We've got so much stacked up on the belts. You know, these are full. This belt is stacked up. I'm perfectly, and you know, loads of storage. I'm happy to just leave it, because it's kind of going to give us as much power as we actually need, and we can always stick in a bit more solar. So that was some tweaking. The other one is I did put in more copper places as well, because I went and did some maths, basically, and I've worked out kind of how much we need in order to build or to sustain purple and gold, and purple is now running, basically. So it's saying destination full because it's all filled up here, basically. So we have loads and loads of purple stacked up and the red running, etc., etc. So what we're actually going to work on today is the gold. I am hoping, if I'm totally honest, that I finish the series today. You know, if it looks like we might be close to doing the rocket, because we are literally going to stop this when I launch a rocket. We'll call it done then. So we're probably never going to do green assemblers and blue belt or anything like that. We're not going to get anything close to that. What I do really want is logistics, so I can build some other stuff without messing about with belts. I can get some requester chests on the go, etc., so that we can make a rocket silo and build the rockets a bit more easily. So yeah, so you know, we'll probably never do power armor 2, etc., etc. So that's the goal. We want to launch a rocket carrying a satellite, I think, and get that to happen, and then we'll call this done. So I'm hoping we can do that today, because I am behind, basically. So the big what would he say? The big video I'm doing is taking a lot longer. I might have to break it into 2, if I'm honest, because you guys have so many questions, and I'm doing my usual thing when I'm recording it of just blathering on and on and on and on. So there's already hours and hours of footage, and editing it all, as well as doing this Let's Play thing. I might delay that as well. So yeah, Friday I will have a video up. Whether it's all the questions answered that you've asked, I don't know, because some of them, well, in a sense, luckily, some of the bits you asked about, they kind of actually revealed. So I can just say, you know, it's basically what the Friday Fact said. So yeah, so that's the sort of warning. And ideally, what I would like to do, as I say, is therefore finish this off, so that tomorrow I can basically cancel the stream and work on that video instead. What we got there? So I wanted to make a uniform defense with all the turret types in a single chunk, but I might have to mix the railgun. Sounds like it will clear up turrets. It's outside in front of it. Yeah, it's a bit of a menace, to be honest with you, in that sense. It's not really... Well, I can't really talk about it. I wouldn't say it's really that much of a practical thing to have on, like, everywhere, basically, because running it, essentially, is expensive. So, I think maybe when you're very end game, you could start using it on your walls, but I probably just, I wouldn't think of it in that term, really. It's more like a special application weapon, shall we say. You could put railgun in a wall funnel, like on the bottom of the V. Yeah, let's say that little narrow bit there. But yeah, I wouldn't... I mean, let's say, very end game, when everything's evolved, etc., etc. But it is such a monster that, it has a massive range as well. It's like it kills stuff off the screen, which is one of the problems with it, because if you've put your walls down and there's like something 2 screens over, there's depending on your zoom level, obviously, there's a good chance that you're going to destroy it. And so if it's a bunch of mines that you've put down, mining drills, then yeah, it can easily blow up your own stuff. So it is a kind of very... I mean, it's like a nuke, basically. Think of it like that. You wouldn't go lobbing nukes around, next to your own stuff. So yeah. I mean, for a BFG with the biggest oomph, was definitely satisfied. I love the sounds. Yeah, I really like it. I say it is very... It's quite nice that it has very, very distinct sounds, like for different shots. So it's sort of it's not just a single noise, basically. I can't imagine what a handheld railgun would look like, thinking of that tiny gun Will Smith used to play. Yeah, that'd be quite funny. How are you doing? I'm doing well, Ultimate Place. I hope you're doing okay as well. I hope everyone's doing okay. It's getting a little difficult to say welcome, etc. to you individually, really, because there's so many of you now, which is awesome. Yes, so let's actually do some stuff, shall we? If I'm going to finish this today, or get as close as I can, maybe do a short one or something tomorrow. Yes, so I did the maths. So I need to check that I laid this out. We're talking 8 blue machines, 2, 4, 6. So I need 1 more of that. The problem with it was, doing it on stream is difficult to do the maths, for me anyway, because I'm distracted. And then it was 22 low density structures, not whatever I had here. 4, 6, 8. What's that? I got 24, I think, didn't I? 40. Crikey, I don't need 40. Blimey. But yeah, it's been a very intense few weeks, I would say. You'll see. When it eventually does go up, the Let's Play series, you'll see that the what I'm doing was rather beset by problems. It was a bit foolish, I think, what I was trying to do, really, when I really think back on it. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we only need 8 of those. Because basically doing a Let's Play series when the game is basically still in development is not a good idea. Because there were, shall we say, quite a few changes that caused me some problems. So how many batteries? Red. So it's only 4 of those and 4 of those. Okay. Cool. But then we need a load of stuff to come in. Heavy, yeah, we're okay with that side of things. So obviously we need a lube as well. Gotta get your lube in. Friction is always bad. But I mean, that's obviously, we'll deliver that, I think. I think I set that up. Yeah, I did. Okay. So we got a train to do that. Okay. Oh, the other problem is this blueprint didn't actually work. So the problem with it is basically that the trains actually poke out of the end. It doesn't look like they poke out the end. Visually, they look like they're fine. But this section here is actually like, it must be like a couple of pixels too short. And so effectively the trains that are queuing up here are actually in this block. And so this signal will go red because there's a train supposedly sat there covering it off. And so basically this doesn't work. It's like a a stacker which can only handle one train effectively. So yeah, if I was scaling this base in any way, that's the type of thing we'd need to fix. So let's get on with it, shall we? We need a little... Which way does that... I guess it could be a T-junction, really. I don't really want to attach it all to the main line. That was one of the problems I was having before, wasn't it? So if we maybe do a branch in the middle, which does mean a little bit of rearranging. Yeah. The railgun doesn't have recoil. That's sad. Oh, hello, Wensenzu. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know it was a new comment. Sorry. The railgun doesn't have recoil. Yeah, I mean, in the animation, you mean? It is fairly static, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't kind of necessarily expect it to... I mean, it also has a chemical propellant. You know, it has a casing that you build, which doesn't really make any sense. It's very much like a... I don't know, like a very sort of video gamey version of a railgun, really. We're doing great, good. Hope you're looking forward to Space Age, if you're going to pick it up. My girlfriend showed me how to not use stackers. We made smart stations that accept 1 to 2 trains, and each train has a generic logic of plate provider to plate requester. Works surprisingly well. Yeah, I do tend to prefer that sort of thing. My problem is I usually don't leave enough space for, you know, and don't signal things very well. Oh, the other thing I did, I put in this universal generic stacker, so if I do need to add more oil-related trains to get things moving a bit quicker, then they can all just stack up here. And that was the problem, really. I was like, you know, dropping things off, and trains were like parking in the things because I didn't have the signals right and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm a bit of a menace when it comes to setting things up properly. Okay, so I guess I mean, we could have that because there's never going to be more than one actual gold science train, is there? So we could have that there. It would need to be the other way round. And I might actually just copy paste this guy. For ease of copy pasting. We also need, don't we? And I keep trying to very deliberately remember about dropping off fuel for the trains, because I keep forgetting about that. So this would then be gold pickup. Cool. So maybe, as it's going to be a very, very low throughput, as it were, train, could maybe put it on the side, but let's have a think. Well, it doesn't really need to go in both directions, you see. So I'm not going to connect that top bit to anything. So if I just, oops, let's delete that. Let's get rid of that side. Oh, have I not got any rail on there? I've not got rail on there. Yeah, so this will be the coal train dropping off a bit of fuel to come us along. Yeah. Still haven't figured out what the hell is wrong with my camera. I'm going to factory reset it because I've done that thing where I've messed about with so many settings. I don't actually know what I've got right and got wrong, basically. So I need to do that as well. At some point, I'll start using the HDMI output and we'll get much better quality on the streams. But let's say I'm being very cautious with it. It may be, in actuality, might be actually better. No, that's the wrong button. Connect that. Oh, red wires is very confusing because they're just not in the new game. Right. Now, have you got... Ah, there's a train on the move, so that suggests one's coming here. Fingers crossed. Uh-huh. Cool, excellent. So, we've at least got fuel for the trains. That's good. That is a good thing. This is going to be the gold build, isn't it? So we might as well do something super duper simple. I can round the circle with coolant in the shell, and the shell ejection to deal with recoil, but very unsatisfying. Yeah, I mean, I suppose that could be what's meant to be in it, as it were, that it is some kind of coolant. But yeah, so it's very nominal that it as to how it's not meant to be a realistic railgun, really. Cool. If I understood the Friday facts correctly, there is not, no longer at least, any need to control heat to a maximum temperature anywhere. Was there a need to do that before? As in need to do that. I know you could do that. I don't think you needed to control heat at the moment, do you? I mean, you can. I say you can do if you want to do nuclear stuff and use that system. But as I've said innumerable times, it was something I could never be asked with. So I don't think there's ever any need to do it. Unless I'm missing the point. 2, 3. I say you can do. Nothing's stopping you, but don't need to. Cool. So you're going to be the golds, and then we're gonna put. Oh, we're gonna put coals back. I hope that's not because I've done something dumb. Are we just talking about not having enough? 2.2. I guess it's because some got taken out, so it would technically be slightly under what was being requested. Okay. I meant that before you needed to control it to not melt the ice. Oh, I see, as in the old mechanic. I honestly don't know. As I say, that was not in the game that we played at the LAN party. So, so yeah, I don't know whether temperature was how you sort of controlled it, or... Because I guess the question would be how the actual, melting worked, as it were. Did it, was it based on just some heat? At what point did the ice? Because obviously ice in the real world, depending on temperature, pressure and all that sort of stuff, and impurities and all those sorts of things. But ice in the real world starts to melt at 0 degrees C, so did it instantaneously melt when it had got above 0, or what? But so there's no real details on that. I'm sort of hoping they do a development of the game type thing, but then I was kind of hoping that they would do something like that with, for version 1. But cool. So, let's just pop these in. Oops. So, that's us ready to receive things. We just need to make those things. Crikey. Let's have a think. So, what's going to be kind of easiest to do? Low density structures maybe involves just dropping stuff off. Let's turn the bots off, and I'll just do it as a design thing. We do need to start, so I'm kind of just going to do this as almost a routine thing now that we put chain signals in, because of all the problems with my terrible railway designs. It's a problem of designing stuff on the fly and using different approaches to what I would normally do. I wonder if I could... I put that too close, haven't I? Oh no, we could have them drop off on that side. If we need to. Okay. Do I want to do that on this thing? Or what do we need to actually get dropped off? We need... Well, that's a question. Am I going to bring red circuits over here from this, or am I going to build it fresh? And it's not exactly productive. It's also a bit on the space constraint side. I think I'll build it fresh. I think that makes more sense. Which means we're going to need to drop off a lot of stuff then. Okay. So, maybe we'll build on this side and we'll have trains dropping off on that side. Yeah, okay. Might be a bit different. So, let us plan that out then. So, where's me? There we go. We'll probably have to head back to base fairly soon because didn't have a lot of stuff left after all the biter killing and outpost grind, as it were. That would have been a massive pain in the bum, though. Yeah. Yeah, so it sounded like... So it was one of the sort, you know, that's what I said in the video, that there's a lot of stuff that we, you know, I either thought of or people had done in suggestions and stuff, and it's always fun to think about, but when you sort of sat there and... If you sort of sat down and thought about how it would actually work, as it were, a lot of it would have been actually really quite annoying, you know. It's a bit like the... you know, the jellyfish-headed alien, Mr. Gribbly, as I keep calling him. Excuse me, with Aquila being quite mechanically complex and slow, and having this mechanic that basically shuts your entire base down if you make a fairly small mistake. Having an alien that, you know, you have to deal with as well was obviously far too much, really. So that's why they sort of got rid of him. It does make me wonder how much was done of him, though, because you kind of expect that, at the very least, there might be some crude animations and stuff, you know. And I suppose why bother working on that if there's no plan for how to, you know, include him in the game, sort of thing. So, okay, so we've got a bunch of stations. So if we have let's do it like that. The low density structures here, maybe. So we need copper, steel and plastic. Let's do a... So what we need to hook up with this is copper, steel and plastic. And we needed... I think it was 22, wasn't it? Oops. Yeah. I'm not going to make a belt, that's so blooming slow. So... Thinking about it though, we might need to feed in more than that though. Okay. So... What's the medicine? Oh, it's copper, isn't it? Yeah, so if we have copper on the outside, and if we wanted to divide 22 by... So if we maybe go 8, 16, 24, so 2, 4, 6, 8. Like that. So 8. And then we need inserters, belt, inserters. So that then is one of our outputs. That's our combined input. That's more copper. 8, 16. So it could maybe double up the copper line, but let's just assume it'll work. And then, because that's always safe, just assuming things will work. Right. Okay. Cool. So this would be one of our, that one there, would be one of our inputs. That one. Say, well, and then down that way. So, over. Toot. Maybe. Guess we're going to have to combine that one with one of them, I think. That's there. I've got this very close to the train station, haven't I? That was a bit dumb. Whoops. Are there still big surprises left? Well. Now there's a question. Depends what you regard as a surprise. Big surprises. I'll be honest, they've revealed a lot now. There are surprises that, you know, there are things you don't know about that are both cool and, you know, interesting and different and what have you. Whether you'd count them as like big, you know, like big, you know, like in the same way that the reveal of, I don't know, the pentabods or something like that, that was a big surprise. I'm not sure there actually are that many left. So they're kind of gazumping the content creators by putting it out, you know, putting a Aquila out. That's, I would say that was the really big thing that they left, as it were, or not talked about. So I think that's the biggest thing. But there's a lot of stuff, you know, you don't know about or what have you. So I think collectively, yeah, if you sort of stick it all together, there's like lots of big surprises, as it were. But in terms of a single, that's blown my mind type of thing, I wouldn't say so. But obviously, I'm slightly coming at this as a little bit of a different perspective nowadays, in that I've been messing about with a lot of these things. Hello, Prof Bits. How you doing? Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Did I mention making heat pipe performant yet? I've not heard any mention of that, no. So what they've done in terms of improving it, I don't know. But no, I've not heard anything specific about that as a system that would work on. What I would say, I think I'm allowed to mention this. The patch notes, well, I can obviously mention it because it's not be telling you anything, but well, if I don't get too specific with it, the patch notes for it are gigantic. It would take, I mean, it's like a, you know, hour-long YouTube video basically going through it all. It is an enormous amount of stuff and changes and things that are different in it. So yeah, I had actually thought about, you know, going through it basically as a video, but it would take hours, you know. It's an enormous list of stuff and things that they've done. Which kind of gives you you know, a bit of a flavour of how much, you know, as I say, there is in this expansion. People have been kind of coming to the same conclusion I came to a while ago, that this isn't really an expansion. This is Factorio 2, you know. It's just so much that's new and different and improved, etc., etc. So, well, like reading patch notes. Well, you'll have a good bit of reading there. Then it is a very long list of stuff, and you can also go through. I mean, I assume it'll be accessible. Maybe it won't, but obviously the beta version shows you all of the intermediate steps that they did. You know, because it gives change notes throughout the entire process. So whether you'll get to see those or not, I don't know. But yeah, it is a very big list. Okay, so if we say that's the, you you know, we need sort of copper on there, copper on there, and copper on there. This could be one of the tricky things with this. I can always build, obviously, some more rail on that side, but yeah, the tricky thing might be that the rail doesn't deliver very efficiently because, as I say, it's not actually a multi-rail system at the moment. I could fix it, obviously, but yeah, that might take quite a while. Okay, so if that's the... Oh, I guess we're in build range. Cool. Gonna do stuff for me, are we, bots? What was the output going to be? So, it might as well hook up the whatchamacallits up. Outputs and that. Especially since the bots will come and build stuff for me. You could like the bots. Oh, I can't. Cool. I think they all need modules in as well. That's the sort of thing I do of one-on-one, basically. So, this is going to be the whole plastic steely one, I think, isn't it? So, we could probably do that with some splits. Yeah, because that was going to be the copper. We could actually... Maybe I'll just do it as a more simpler one. Let's actually start thinking about how these would come over. So. Where's me drop off? Where's me drop off? See, the good bit, the bit that does work, and I keep forgetting to take that. In fact, let's just do that. Why do I keep editing it? I need to get rid of that bit. Oh, yeah. Yes, so. Leave me rail boxes. And then these guys will be this. Oh, looks like we probably chunked through all of the buffs. I mean, I could set some of these purple ones going, you know, your coal liquefactions and all that sort of stuff, but we're just never going to build them. Yeah, in this. I say, well, we might actually think about it. We might end up doing handcrafting some prod trees or something for the rocket. So yeah, maybe chuck them on. With science productivity, sort of has like, I don't know, a kind of limited set of uses really. So, let's see if we can get that to work. Interesting. The light on there. And then got to build it in this, haven't I? Red wires. Cool. And could just get the bots going. Why have you gone all the way down there? And this will end up being, so that'd be 4,000. And these would be, no, wrong combinator. So that's that one. And I want, say, 2, and we'll see how badly it messes up. There is a slight tweak we can... Oh, what's wrong here? Slight tweak we can make, which is if we take that middle one out, and actually let's build it in. That was as far as it would go, wasn't it? But then, is it this one I can move down slightly? Oops. So it's literally, visually, it doesn't look any... There you go. So that one go down 1. it's on the wrong thing. So visually you can't tell that it's wrong, as it were. It looks fine, but the signal goes red, and so that one then there. So because it's 2 drains, hopefully it should wait there anyway. We'll see. We'll see what it does. We will see what it does. And I think also it helps if that is like there. Because then it's not checking the same bit. So, if we delete out all of them, they're not on the radar, that's annoying. It's very cool that you get to beat this. Yeah, it's been interesting. As I say, there's some bits of it, and I think I talk about them in the Let's Play thing I'm doing. That, you know, there were actual bits of feedback I gave. Now, or, you know, bugs I found, as it were. I guess, I don't know that I really found any bugs. I found quite a few things that I felt were sort of inconsistent or didn't work, you know, in the same way as in the base game that you would expect, where you would expect to, if you see what I mean. And so, and those got, you know, either changed or fixed. Now, I don't for a minute think I was the only person reporting those, but yeah, it was kind of interesting seeing the process in action. You did also have to. There was a lot of how to phrase it. A lot of sort of like and this was why doing the Let's Play was probably a bit foolhardy. Oh, that's funny. Because well, as you saw with the Glover thing, there were big changes that happened. And so if you're trying to do a fresh playthrough, because what a lot of the people at the LAN party did is essentially continue on with the game that they had there, so that it was, you know, a pretty well-formed playthrough, and that they were then exploring the other things. So, you know, quite a few of them did also do, you know, clearly started new games, you could kind of tell, but yeah, when they do a big change and it's like, well, and I'm you know, it doesn't matter when you're doing it just playing yourself for fun, as it were. If you're doing like I'm doing, where I'm trying to record it and sort of, you know, show you the game in a sense, if they then do something and it just completely breaks how it works, then it's like, well, that's not. I have to restart, and I had to restart quite a couple of times basically. One wasn't disastrous; it was fairly close to, you know, a previous restart, but yeah, it was challenging, and it's why I've not done a lot basically. So I've not played on a lot of the things like natively. I have played them, but basically by cheating in resource. You know, I didn't build the buildings and build it up. I just spawned in stuff in order to see how it kind of worked, really, and what, you know, understand what they were going for. But yeah, it's been a really fun experience, I would say. My biggest issue is entirely personal. I've mentioned this before. That I have this weird situation in August where, like, loads of my close family have holidays, have birthdays. So in October, I get this like almost requirement to attend a bunch of like family birthdays, which is not, you know, not no problem. But what also happens is that my work, I always have a deadline, a big deadline in October, and it's just, I don't know, it's a weird cut, you know, kind of coming together of things. So I end up with a situation where I have loads of like, work to do, and then also this sort of set of requests, as it were, to basically go to these, you know, family birthday things. And even where I'm not going to the family birthday things, I'm having to remember to send cards and all that sort of stuff. So October is always just this insane month for me. And of course, they, that was when the thing came out and when I was beta testing it. So it was all a bit sort of, right, so even though I've got no time whatsoever, let's also do this beta testing. Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't want that to sound like any kind of complaint. It was a very great sort of honour and pleasure to do it, really. And then that would be a vertical flip. No. Disconnect, rolling, stop. No, that's the wrong button then. So that would be that way around. Belts obviously aren't match, but no, that's not right, is it? That would be... This is, like I say, this sort of thing is really confusing with the keys. So that... No, wrong button. Is that right? So it needs to output... Oh no, it needs a different setup altogether. So it was this one I was trying to do. Okay. So if we just copy that, that should work. Cool. So yes, these need to be a different arrangement. Like that. That's better. Cool. Monday will be a great day, yeah. It's quite interesting how many people are trying to avoid spoilers. I was being a little cheeky with the thumbnail on the Friday Facts video, because, I don't know, what it's like. What do you regard as a spoiler? What is it about mechanics? And how does just knowing how they work? Do you feel that's a spoiler, or because to me the question is the fun in this game is what I'm doing here. It's design for me. Is designing the things and coming up with well, this I'm going to do this, and then discovering all the bottlenecks and fixing those and all that sort of stuff. It's why because I mention this quite a lot. People offer suggestions and stuff, or backseat effectively, and it's why I just ignore people, because they're like, I don't, but that's the fun bit. I don't want any, or I will ignore. I don't mind you doing it, but I will ignore you. So yeah. On that note, how do you feel when we asked you to come to the LAN party? Did they send you an email? My heart probably would have doubled in pace. So, crikey, that's quite a story. I'll probably come back to that. I'll look at the other chat messages. So, what country are you from? If it's not private, it's not private. No, I'm from England, basically, in the United Kingdom. That's which is also where I live. Have they fixed any of the inconsistent parts you've reported to your knowledge? Yes, yeah, there's quite a few of them been fixed. I think some of them are like, I'm reporting things where that's their design decision. And certainly, I know one of them that I have very much, I've reported like in a couple of times in a couple of different ways because I hate it. And that's, I think that's just how they want it to work. So yeah. I didn't want to analyse what all the bits and pieces were. It's almost here. I can wait. Yeah, exactly. So, it's like, kind of interact. How much you want to know and all that sort of stuff is very sort of a personal thing. So as I say, what counts as well. But also, to me, as I say, knowing, how the planets are, as it were, as in one's cold and one's, a lava and all. None of that is spoiler, Well, I guess it's technically spoiler, but none of that matters to me. That's not the sort of stuff I would care about. And even knowing recipes and things like that, I personally wouldn't categorise as spoilers, because it's how you actually do it, how you put it together, what you have the buildings doing, and whether you use belts, whether you use bots, all those sorts of things are the puzzle solving, the fun part to me. And so, the fact that this recipe has this, or is, a recipe for this is this. I don't care. I don't care to the extent of needing to hide that. But other people are different, So, I say, we are in the territory where Not that I'm assuming that anyone watching this would be worried about spoilers, but you know, people need to go blackout, as it were, media blackout, because I think from Monday there's going to be a lot of videos that just tell you everything, basically. I imagine the surprise when playing would be even better than Friday Facts, but I doubt it. I can't resist reading them anyway, so yeah. Don't read that. Got Monday will be great. Yeah, so yeah, it's gonna be fun, I think. So in terms of how I got the invite, so one of the things you have to slightly bear in mind with this is some of the devs. I think I meant, you know, what I did repeatedly mention because it was a bit of a surprise, the extent. But some of the devs do watch some of the Friday Facts videos. They kind of watch them generally, I think, you know, so they watch Exterms and JD Plays and all that sort of stuff. Everyone who does one, because, you know, you're talking about a niche game that kind of not everyone, you know, it sold like millions of copies sort of thing, but, you know, it's not a AAA mega, you know, the discourse is all about it for 6 months or whatever. It's not one of those types of games. And so there aren't actually that many people who do Friday Facts videos, and there are very few who do the whole thing I do of, you know, multi-hour long videos speculating about everything that's in there and all that sort of stuff. It's fairly, well, pretty dang small people who go to the extent I do. So, you know, there's that obvious, you know, it's nice to see someone being excited and talking about what your job, as it were, so that you're, you know, that engagement with it, as it were. So what I'm saying is basically there are devs who have contacted me, either on the YouTube or what have you. I think a couple follow me certainly on the YouTube channel. I don't know about on Twitch. I know there are some on Twitch as well, but also Twitter and those sorts of things. So while I wouldn't say I have, you know, personal contacts or anything, I wouldn't go that grand with it. But they're obviously aware of the videos. They enjoy the speculation and stuff like that. So basically there are routes of contact. So I kind of knew, you know, a few of the devs, if you see what I mean. I say not as personal friends or anything, I wouldn't say, but and they obviously knew the content that I make. I've done 2 here, but I don't actually want to, do I? Really? I could just split that basically, because that would be fine. So we do that maybe. So that's just to give you the background, because basically one of them reached out and said, you know, we're doing this LAN party, would you like to go on a list? And the list was just the potential people that they would invite. And it was just literally a potential list. And it's why I didn't get too excited initially. What the heckins have I done here? Oh, that was going to be the other. Yeah, so that's coming in from another build, isn't it? Okay. So, I say that was the basic, you know, background. That essentially, you know, they'd seen the videos. They thought, well, you know, it clearly knows the game to a degree that it'd be, you know, worthwhile coming. And if you're talking about, because effectively what we're doing for them, and it's the like Faustian pact of content, you know, content creators really is. Effectively, it's a gigantic set of adverts for them, you know, and just gigantic set of people doing free marketing for them, essentially. So, you know, they're the type of people that you want because, for one thing, you know, they're familiar with the game, and is any of that built? I don't know. Let's just leave it for now. You know, familiar with the games, they're kind of be able to give useful feedback, and you know, so that's the bit I think that's a little bit different with this, in that, you know, we were beta testers after the actual event, but that type of event is fairly common in game. You know, that's part of marketing, or it used to be anyway. I think companies don't bother as much now. tends to be much more online stuff. But yeah, so essentially what I'm saying is that one of them reached out and was like, effectively, you know, we're going to have this LAN party. You know, would you be interested in coming? And I, obviously, I immediately said yes. Although I did even caveat that with the whole, I have problems with doing stuff. I'm not available in October and that sort of thing. So even if I would want to, I might end up with my work basically telling me, no, you can't have holiday, you know. So I did sort of flag that to them. But when it turned out it was September and what have you, I was like, yeah, that'll work. And that was it basically. And that was kind of what I'd heard. I was massively honoured at that point to even be, you know, put on the list, as it were. And I just assumed that, you know, they'll get enough people and, you know, I won't make the cut, as it were. But then, yeah, a couple of months before it was actually going to happen, they reached out again and said, you know, would you be able to come? I had to establish some of the details, shall we say, of exactly what it meant, as it were, because obviously it was in Prague. You know, that's not any kind of secret anymore, and Prague is not a, you know, 20-minute trip away. It's you know, flights to another country type territory. So I had to work all of that logistics out and etc. Because I did have to pay for own flights and hotel, etc. So it wasn't you know, totally free ride. But then I was getting to play the, you know, the expansion for my favourite game super early. So I was saying, it seemed like a great thing to do. And Prague is you know, probably hopefully came across on my videos, but Prague is an amazing city. That was almost like one of the big like bonuses to it, of like, wow, this is a great place to just come to, you know, irrespective of the event. Free marketing and free QA, exactly, yeah. Hello Ashendella as well, welcome, if I didn't say hello before. And people, I mean, there are quite a lot of, you know, little bugs and stuff that people have found, so, you know, it has been, I think, useful to them from that point of view. The biggest one was like the feedback. I'm not pretending that we all came up with, you know, we swept in and fixed Leber or anything like that. I think like their concepts for how to change it had been like being mulled over and stuff. And what it was more was like, you know, they just had a whole bunch of extra people essentially give them exactly the same feedback to what they'd been feeling. I think it's more like that than, as I say, you know, we came up with new ideas. It was more, you know, they had a feeling this is missing something. You know, there's something not quite right here. This needs to change, and they're sort of working through ideas. And then, as I say, you've then got a load of extra people come along and go, yeah, this isn't as good a choice as the other planets. And that was them. You know, they then put into place the things that they'd been thinking about. It's very magnanimous of me, isn't it? I could claim that I swept in and completely redesigned Lever for them. Don't think I could even come close to doing that. How do you feel about the other factory games? Yeah, so I mean, I enjoy quite a few. So I really like Tectonica, actually. I played that on stream a while ago. I think that's one of my like favourite ones. I was a bit surprised. They're going to 1.0 already. I don't know if it's just because it's not really sold as well as they'd hoped, and you know, they've sort of cut it short a bit. But they had this massive roadmap, and then it's like suddenly they're doing 1.0. But they have apparently almost completely rebuilt the game. So really quite like Tectonica. I'd say my other favourite one is Dyson Sphere Program, because it is very similar to this. But it's like this with the incredibly glossy coat of paint. So I think it's, you know, very similar. Also, I really like, and that's one of the reasons I like Tectonica as well, is they're both much more like, they have a point, you know, so they're well, Tectonica has a story and, you know, sort of purpose, as it were, and Dyson Sphere program. Doesn't really have a story, but obviously you're building a Dyson Sphere. And I really, the concept of building a giant megastructure is one that very much appeals. And if you'd have seen a lot of my speculation videos, you'll have seen me hoping that we do that in this. And obviously I can't tell you whether we do or not, but yeah, you will find out, I guess, on Monday. Although not from me, as I say. Yeah, so I'd say those are my two favourites. Satisfactory, I need to give another go, basically, but after the 1.0 release. I found it to be, like, polished and stuff. It felt like I'm going to use the word dumbed down. That's not an appropriate phrase to use, but it felt like a simpler version of Factorio, and obviously even now you don't have circuit networks and things like that. So to me, some of the amazing things in this sort of haven't been copied over. It's very expressly 3D Factorio though, that game. The devs don't even pretend it's anything different. So again, it's very similar. But there's actually a streaming series, and I basically had a tantrum after a while because essentially I found it got very grindy. Apparently that was a deliberate thing in order to give people like a long challenge, a sort of well, if you want to finish it, you've got to do these ridiculous numbers. So I mean, I have asked people, they haven't really told me, but my assumption is it's a bit less grindy for the 1.0 release, but I don't know. And yeah, so I didn't actually finish that series because, as I say, it just felt like I was building machine after machine after machine, just because it's the same reason effectively I never really did a mega base until that live stream, and I've not done one since, because just doing number goes up is only so appealing to me fundamentally. But yeah, so I played plenty. I mean, I tried Shapes. I was in Shapes 2 rather. I was enjoying it, but then I had to go to the LAN party and do this, so I've literally not touched it since. So yeah, so I say it's sort of kind of my preferred genre, as it were. So yeah, that answers your question. I'm hoping to do more, streams on more, and so like when Tectonica has its 1.0 and Satisfactory, but it's all going to wait until like Christmas or afterwards. Monday will be flooded. YouTube's going to explode. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff on there. How I learned to stop being British and admit all devs love me. Indeed. Still waiting on the beta dating sim. Well, yeah, I mean, it's got to come at some point, hasn't it? All these amazing mod makers. Is it in 2 days? Monday. Yeah, so this Monday, 14th of October, the embargo lifts, and they have made it so that the lifting of the embargo is just completely open. I say there was this request to not, talk about the final planet and the end game, but that has been lifted basically. So if you don't want to even, if you don't mind knowing what they are, then there will be lots of content for you to consume from all sorts of people. For me personally, I'm keeping that mainly because, what I'd done, what I planned was based on that, and it's too difficult for me to change. So I will not be spoilering Aquilo and the endgame beyond anything that is already in the Friday Facts. And then in particular, the Aquilo endgame thing I'll do as something on the 21st, not least of all, as I mentioned, because I've discovered that I'm way behind schedule, so I wouldn't have time to include all that stuff. But yeah, I'll do a pickup video on the 21st with all that. I'm sure everyone will already know everything by that point, so yeah. My mum asked why we loved Factorio so much, and basically it's because it's a great neurodivergent game. Kind of need a comfort game that's always very stimulating. Factorio is just robust, intricate, and approachable. Yeah, I said before, I'm sure that the proportion of neurodivergence in the community is significant. It's a game that understands that what it wants to be and who it's for. It's interesting that it might be something I can talk about at some point. In fact, I think I actually blathered on about it last week, but yeah, it's yeah, who it's made for is an interesting question. And I say, ask me that later, post embargo and post release, and I'll kind of talk about that because it is a little interesting. Best non-automation game you've played? Wow. Crikey. That is an enormous... I mean, I'm quite old, so I have been gaming for like 35 years. So it's a little bit of a difficult question to answer because it'd almost be almost like a per era one. But my favourite games are things like... So I absolutely love the Command and Conquer Red Alert series. That was always one of my favourites. So, 1 and 2. 3 was quite good, but, not quite so good. But yeah, Red Alert 2 in particular is like one of my all-time favourites. I would also go with... there's a more general thing. The Civilization series is, way up there. It's a little bit more... I tend not to agree with like the consensus thing. There tends to be a bit of a... Everyone thinks, this... Civ... No, so like, I really loved Civ 3. Civ 3 I absolutely adored, and I just played it over and over again and put, literally thousands of hours into it. But generally Civ 3 is not regarded as one of the better Civs. And for example, Civ 4, which absolutely everybody else seems to love, I actually found a bit sort of meh. It was just not for me. But all of them I've put in hundreds of hours on the Civ games. What else would I say? I absolutely adore the Fallout series, even both the original set and the Bethesda ones. I really like the Bethesda games. They're not quite on the same par with the writing and stuff, but they work as really good sandboxes, I would say. And I used to, it's another thing where I always end up disagreeing with people. I know a lot of people hated the whatchamacallit building, the settlement building. I spent literally maybe even 500 hours or something building settlements in that. I just loved doing it. What else would I say? Crikey, as I say, you're going back literally to the dawn of gaming, to be honest with you. I played Asteroids and stuff in the arcade, I really need to get on with this, don't I, if I'm actually going to finish it. What would be best next? I guess, because we already delivered plastic, perhaps we try and do the blue circuits. I'm thinking about just doing a direct build, as I say, so that we build blues and reds and that together. I'd have to work out the numbers then. I've not done that. Unless I have. I don't know what my cheat sheet's got on it. So 9 red circuit builds should sort it. Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. There were 8 of these then. I put that very close. Why have I put that very close? Let's get ourselves a bit of room. So I think there's 8 blues on their own. Which actually might be better to do that way. What else would I say was like a favourite game? Crikey. So you really put me on the spot there. I suppose Can we introduce biters to Gleba and vice versa? Invasive species sounds fun. I'm afraid I can't answer that one. If you want to ask me questions like that, there's a thread on or a post on my community page where you can pop on questions. I cannot guarantee I'll answer it on Monday. The basic plan now is I will have a video up on Monday that answers kind of as many as I can of questions people have answered in that thread. So that, and I'm going to structure it and do it, and it's one of the reasons it's taken a while, so that you can be like I'll put gaps between questions so that you don't accidentally run into another one and find out something you didn't want to know about, and clearly use chapters to say these are all the Volcanus ones, these are all the clever ones, and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to be as clear with it as possible so that people can just tailor it to what level of spoiler that they want. So this is why, and I say, the change to the the embargo meant all of this. I could have just done a video without bothering, but I'm halfway through it, So what will probably happen then is I'll probably pick up the second video and or a live stream on the Tuesday. So say if you put those questions in there, they'll probably be picked up on the either the second video or the live stream. That live stream will definitely happen on the Tuesday now, because I need to go to a different office for work and I won't get back till quite late. So if you want, say, answers to questions like that, then I can pick them up there. Although obviously you will probably find out on Monday. Because some of the stuff I can basically just do it for you, because I can actually test it properly. I'll have to do lots of flicking between screens, but I can basically show how I can use my cheat save, basically. For best known my game. It's funny how people will prepare for Monday. Troopin, for example, to 24-hour clever stream. Yeah, I saw that. It's funny because it's not quite, yeah. As well, you've seen the reworks, so it's not quite what it was. Asteroids, boomer detected, zoomers wouldn't know. Yeah, not quite a boomer, but Gen X is me. Snake on a green and black screen here. Oh. Snake on a green and black screen here. Do you mean in terms of the stream, or? I'm not sure what you're referring to there on Flash Go, but welcome to the stream. If I haven't said hello already, if there are any technical issues, then do shout, because so I have been having problems with my camera in particular. Almento, ever played Soul Reaver? Me? No, I haven't. No, I'm not. I don't tend to be action RPG, and I have a lot of problems with like third-person games. It's a control system I never really quite properly got with. It took me ages to get used to it on like Red Dead 2 and stuff like that. No, I'm not. I don't tend. Also, like I've massive gaps in my knowledge of console games, particularly PlayStation games and stuff like that, because I just didn't buy consoles. I had a PlayStation 1 when that came out and did play a lot on that, but more PC gaming and what you would kind of think of as PC adjacent games, basically. Although not even really that. More so like Amiga. I had an Amiga and a Spectrum and an Amstrad, and it's that type of thing. The way I got to play games was very much, we're getting this to help you with school, basically. That was how I got to play games at home. And you can't really say a SNES or something is oops, kind of really fulfilling that remit, is it? Of well, you can do your homework on this. Have I tried XCOM? Yes, love XCOM. Yes. So really big fan of the revival in particular. I did play the originals. They're not games I would say that hold up when you try and play them now. I mean, they are ancient, but yeah, I love turn-based strategy is very much my bag as well. The other thing I was going to mention, so the games I've got as my favorited on Steam are, for example, Stardew Valley and Don't Starve. I don't know that they're necessarily surprising type games to have, but But yeah, I enjoy all sorts of like survival games and that sort of thing. I'd say the genres I don't like are generally sports games. It's fairly, I'd say, typical for a nerd. Sports games just aren't really of any interest to me. Like platformers, because could never do the coordination to do platforming. Always just ended up dying all the time. So I've literally played Mario a couple of times and absolutely despised it because I could never get anywhere with it, basically. So yeah, not that I think it's a bad game, just that I do not have the coordination and motor skills to like play platformers, basically. CNC Red Alert was one of the first games I played. I think I was 7 when I played it first. It made me feel old. I was how old was I when I played Red Alert 2? Must have been Red Alert 2 would have been after university, so I'd have been 20 odd, I think. I think that's right. I'm not. Yeah, no, because 3 was. Yeah, 3 was a bit after that. Yeah. Oh, I mean another one that I really. I mean, I used to love the Bullfrog games. So I know Peter Molyneux has not covered himself in glory at times, but the Bullfrog games are amazing. So like in particular, what's it called? Syndicate. So what Syndicate was one of my, I could just play that for hours and hours and hours, even though it was, essentially the same game, because it's like a fixed narrative and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Syndicate. I adored Syndicate, and Populous and all those sorts of things. I tried to play because obviously GOG has the like the classics on it and stuff like that. And actually, it was one of the ones I tried to play, and it was just like Populous, and it was just like I don't know how we used to cope with the tiny interface, because you literally can't. You can see like 8 squares. Oh, what would it be? 4x4, 16 squares or whatever that is, and that so effectively, that area was like what you played Populous. Bonkers. I remember loving Civ 3. Civ 4 was good, but the graphics left something to be desired. Okay. First game for me, gold. It would be something on the Atari 2600. What? I can't tell you. Or something in an arcade, maybe Pac-Man or something like that. I honestly couldn't tell you. What would be my first game? Crikey. What am I trying to put on here? We need about like green circuits and I've run out. Green circuits and plastic. Yeah, I'll have to head back to. In fact, I wonder if the tank put some stuff in. First game. I don't say it would be something on the Atari 2600. I'm pretty sure there's like a D&D game on there. Although I tried to look it up, and as in like an officially licensed D&D game, because I remember the box. It was like this whacking great box. Because cartridges were sort of that big, and the box was like this big, and it only had 1 cartridge in it. Oh, am I frozen up? Am I frozen up? Are you going to recover? I think that's frozen, isn't it? Okay, I just need to reset my camera. Give me 1 tick. Yeah, it does. Okay. Ah, has that worked? No. Yeah. That's not recovering, is it? Why is that not coming on at all? I hope you can still hear me though. Not entirely sure how to fix that. Never had it completely freeze before. I wonder if maybe if I switch scene, I wonder if that might kick it into gear. Oh, no, that's not right. No. Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard it completely and totally freeze before. I set it off and on. Okay. There we go. That was weird. I had to reset it multiple times then. There we go. Hopefully still in focus, knocking it about. So that's what it does, and I don't understand what it is. Because there's all sorts of guides on... Because it's like a timing thing. It's like every hour or half hour, I think it is. It essentially does that reset. And it basically turns itself off and turns itself back on again. And I can't get it to not do it. And sometimes it just does a little reset and there's a little pause and it's all fine. And other times like that, well, not quite as extreme as that. Let's have a high chat reading latest. Yeah, I get way behind. It's because I think I need to start being more picky with which ones. I try to read them all and respond to them all, but there's enough of you now that do chatting that it's a little difficult to keep up, to be honest with you. The funny facts of cryogenic plant concept art before final pale turquoise paint colour reminded me of a power armor helmet from Fallout. Oh yeah. It's a very similar design, isn't it? Yeah. Hadn't really occurred to me then. Have I played Red Alert Online? No, I haven't. No. I know they did a General Command and Conquer game as a mobile game, but no, I haven't really. Or unless you mean, as a multiplayer online thing. I never really got into real-time strategies as online games because the trouble is, once people have had them for a little while, it's like when you see them playing what's it called, StarCraft, and it's just like they've memorized like 1,500 key presses. That's not gaming to me. But if you don't do that, then you just lose all the time. So I also like the original XCOM, but it was a bit too clunky. I can get the charm and appeal, but I don't have the nostalgia to pull me through. I was introduced to XCOM 2 and played the crap out of it. Yeah, it's amazing. I really love the XCOM revival ones. It's kind of a shame that Drake Solomon's moved on because I don't think we'll get a third one. Excited to see what he does though. Haha, I am playing Stardew right now. I have 700 hours, keeps pulling me back in. I love Stardew Valley. I love that it's like slightly dark in places and stuff like that, and there's like humour in it and stuff like that. It's like it's the saccharine sweet whatchamacallit, Tom Nook. It's story of seasons and all that sort of stuff. Tinder stuff, but like with a little bit of a dark undercurrent to it. I keep getting pulled back into Star Wars Empire at War. Interesting. Populous at the beginning was actually the first game I ever played. It was before I could read. Wow. I'll have some chat for the camera. Camera fires. Okay, it's good. Sounds good. Already happy week. 1 week until release. Hello, German. Hi, German. Hope you're doing well. Looks good. Good. Happy and extra tough. Cool. Okay, so I'm going to have to focus on this a bit more because we do kind of need to get this done. Or at least sort of functional today. Otherwise, we're definitely not going to make it this weekend at the very latest. Okay, what have I got left to do? Everything. Okay. Right. So, if we say that that's so red circuits, green circuits coming in, and if we have maybe, because one of these is copper, isn't it? We'll just steal a bit of copper. Don't really need that many copper wires. Let's just give it a couple of machines that we can maybe prod them. And then what we'd need on that side then would be the green circuits. So we could maybe do a sort of split. Oops. They come there. Underground that one. Oops. That's that. So we need a bunch of green circuits getting in there. So that'd be the green ones, that'd be red ones. Let's give you inserters there. Actually, what's the numbers? 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that'll do. And then what we need is plastic coming in there. And one of these was going to be plastic, and I've completely forgotten which one it was, but I don't think that matters. So that one's definitely going to be copper, isn't it? Yes. So we need a bit of copper in there. And these need to be fast, and I'll put the regulars in. Right, might be better. Do this the other way around. Kind of fun, like improvising these designs together. It's like weird as well, because obviously done it a million times before, and the whole thing of actually, why don't I just put plastic, because that didn't matter which way around that was. So if that was ends up being the steel, then this one then is the plastic. Oh, looks like. Oh, no. But yeah, that's fine, because that'll be disabled. Cool. So that's not copper. That one's copper. This is copper. Oops. That, and then this one is your plastic, which we won't go in that way. Like so. We do have red belt, I think, so you can always upgrade things if it is ever so slightly short in places. And then this needs to be a bunch of green circuit builds. Okay. And that was plastic, not copper. Okay. In fact, let's just copy paste. Okay. Cool. So yeah, might struggle to support all this copper is the sort of problem. I suspect we will have to red belt these as well. Let's give it a go, see what happens. Gonna need iron plate. What am I? Oh, that is the thing. So that is that on there, and then that needs to be on. Okay. That needs to be on. Means we need an iron plate. I'm wondering actually, would it be better to do green circuits coming in? Because, you know, as you can see, this is kind of backing up, and I've not got trouble with supplying the green circuits. You know, it's just chock full here. I think it would fall up. I think it would collapse, because I think it's just backed up because the red circuits is so pathetic. So would it be better? It'd probably be, yeah, I think it's just better to drop off green circuits anyway. Because if I'm going to have to do an iron station anyway, might as well make it a green circuit station. Okay, so let's put that in there. So instead of that, it's that. Okay. Okay, so we're not bothering with this. All of this malarkey can go. Oh. Misclicked. All of that malarkey. Get rid of your rubbish. And it doesn't, you know, reduces the number of trains bringing copper in here as well. Okay. So how about we have a... There we go, there. I'm pretty sure I need the green circuits as well for the robot frames. He says, not really remembering the recipe properly. Yeah, flowbot frames. Yeah, flowbot frames. Oops. Okay, so if that ends up being one of our green circuit builds, then these guys need inserters. Probably more, but I'll leave it like that for now. Get some lights on, or at least blueprint it in. And then down the back there. Oh! Okay, so that was the copper. And then it was... That one's steel, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Will you be able to show a lot of the new content before the actual launch? I can do, yeah. All content creators can show everything now, basically. So there's no... Oops, the embargo changed, and... I mean, the embargo wasn't... Like, it wasn't based on a... It was a request not to show the final planet and endgame. It wasn't a requirement of the embargo. I think part of the reason for lifting it was that, you know, they realised that somebody would just do it and then everyone would follow probably. So yeah, but I personally will not be kind of spoiling too much, basically. So I am going to still stick with that. So yeah, my content will be relatively safe, and if I haven't said so already, welcome Charlie. I hope you're doing well and having a good afternoon. I should go and get biohazard science in SE sorted. I never got that far. I kind of realised that it was just too big. There's no way I was going to get it done. Particularly not streaming. I think I'd enjoy it more, if I'm honest, if I played it through like myself properly once and then tried to do it as a stream, because it's just too much. You know, everything's too big, basically, to make it kind of practical and sensible and stuff. So, what I need to hook up is this one, and it needs to have some flowbot frames. But now we're going to squeeze them through. So, that. Good. Sneak past there. We can discover we've got a horrible bend. Be better if I was combining them, wouldn't it? But I'm committed now. I am committed. So we need to get them on there, and they obviously have a weird collection of ingredients with lube and all sorts, don't they? Batteries. Am I putting batteries on a train anywhere? I don't think I am, which is why I did them below, isn't it? That would have been easy. So I'm going to need iron plate anyway for batteries. Dang, am I really not putting batteries on a train anyway? No. I wonder if we could maybe do a battery build instead. You know, just have one that makes batteries, sends them over. But then I'm going to need iron plate for doing... Oh, we got copper. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's admit defeat. So, lube needs to come in as a thing, and iron plate does. So they're not built, so we need to go and put them in. I wonder if I should maybe start actually building some of this. Or do we just leave it for what's to do? I am wondering about connecting this up, because obviously I cleared out the path, so we could just connect it to the network and the bots will do it all for me. Slowly, but it's a lot of rail to build. Okay, let's do that then. So maybe... Oh, I haven't got any robots? I have. Okay. This is one of the little tips. Well, it's not a tip, because a lot of people do it anyway, but the whole covering your base in roboports is like a really good approach for space age, because, you know, I don't think that's a massive surprise, because you know, there's a whole aspect to the game where you're not there, basically. You're doing stuff remotely, so having, you know, just if I build there, I don't think that's in range, is it? But yeah, getting it underway as soon as possible is kind of the way to go, I think. Because you don't want to be schlepping back and forth just to fix, you know, fix tiny little things. Or build a little extra bit and stuff. It's not, you don't really gain anything by doing it yourself. Getting bots to do it is kind of the thing, really. Hello, Smiles. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. So what do people think of the cryo plant then? It didn't really dwell on it in the thing, but your bonus from that is more to do with modules. That it has a absolutely insane number of module slots. I mean, 8 module slots is bonkers. But yeah, so it didn't have that internal prod bonus, but it lets you do, in a sense, what you want with it, as it were. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to do prod. You know, you can do other things, basically. So in a sense, it's a bit more flexible that way. One of these needs to be lube at least, doesn't it? But, oh, there's no train station. Do I actually need 2 things? Because we've got to make... Where am I looking at? Okay. So, we've got steel coming in, we've got green circuits coming in. Engines, electric engines we're going to make. And we need lube for, so we need a lube station. We'll make the engines locally, so we need iron. And we need iron and copper for batteries. Sulfuric acid, that's the other one. So we need iron plate. Like so. And then we need lube. And sulfuric acid. And that means we need another station, doesn't it? Did I do fluid drop-offs? I didn't. Don't think I did. No, so I got a bunch of chests. If we got something we can copy. Not really. Okay. Let's just grab that then. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll flip that round. No, you're not properly connected, are you? I've done the wrong wire to the wrong place. There we go. So that can be, lube, I guess. And just set all of these up properly, don't we, actually? So that needs to be lube. That needs to be 25,000. What did I do with the other? Because we had the whole rounding issue. That holds. Tank holds 50, doesn't it? No, 25. Okay. So we need to do the 24 so that we don't get the rounding issue, and then that's all fine. Cool. So if we just copy that one, that in, and I can, oops, I can, no, swap, oops, I can swap it to a seed. And the number should be okay. Cool. We do want the adjusted signals there, don't we? Just a point. I bet it's not yet. Didn't change the blueprint, did I? I just manually did it. Those signals reworked. I think I just get rid of all of them. Put them in fresh again. I'm sat here wondering why I can't see bots flying across even with the time it's taken. And of course they're not going to fly across because I've not connected the robo networks. Cool, I have now. Do we see an exploit? We do see some bots coming to us. Construction bots leaping into action though. Oh yeah, no, they're grabbing some rail. Cool. Uh, 8 million module slots, indeed. Those liquids are going to be sloshing around at speeds prior founded. Not really. Grandma passed this week. Oh, crikey! But how are you all? Hope you have having a better week. I'm sorry to hear that, Smask. It looks really cool, and I like the spinny thing, fluid in the top dome. I'd need to know specifics on what more interesting stuff it's useful for. Yeah, they didn't really. I mean, they sort of gave you some hints, I guess, as to what the recipes are and how it works and all that sort of thing. But yeah, they haven't kind of gone into a lot of detail there, which I guess, you know, if you wanted to find out, I'm sure lots of people will be talking about it and showing it and all that sort of stuff on Monday. I mean, very well, you know, even if you don't want other people to tell you, I think this is one of the things, and I'm not sure people are quite, you know. Spoilers is, I say, a very odd territory for Factorio because, you know, the game was never. If you open the tech tree, you can see everything, you know, and it's always been like that. It's not any kind of a change. You know, that was version 1 was like that. So, you know, you're sort of not, you're not safe no matter what you're doing with it, you know, sort of thing. So it always seems like a little bit of a mute point, really. And it's only your first playthrough that you're gonna even think about spoilers. After that, you know. Really love C Block, so I can't wait to see it, as I love the mod C Block, but it was really a lot of grind. Yeah, it is a very, like, it's C Block light is how I would describe it. It's not at all, you know, heavy in a sense, but one of the things they sort of talked about was the ammonia, you know, so that is a useful resource coming out of it. That's not just some waste product or something. But as it did mention, you can turn it into fuel and stuff like that. So you get that virtuous, you know, it's one of the places with the whole virtuous circle thing, where once you've kick-started the process of extracting the ice and the ammonia from the water and processing it, then it gives you ammonia, which you can use to burn, to do the heat, to build more stuff, and the ice to build more platforms. So it is like that seed block thing of, you know, you just grow. The more you process, the more you make, type of thing. So that's the bit of it I'd say they captured, really. Or kind of what they were going for, in a sense. Well, we'll just leave the ends and let the bots do the rest of it. I'll turn mine off. Okay. So in theory, trains will start arriving and all sorts of good stuff like that. So, if we say we have done that bit, and we've done that bit, and we've done that bit, this is the bit we need to do. So I think I might just copy that up. Make it there for reference. So we want 2, 4, 6, 8. Where are they? Oh, now. And I'll line it up with that, I think. But they have quite a lot of ingredients coming in, don't they? Flowbot frames. Yeah, steel and green circuits we can bring in as belts and should be right here. Yes. So that was going to be the green circuits. So we can kind of steal that. This must have been steel. We will steal some steel. And just wondering if we can get a little bit tidier with that. So if that was there, so that's your steel. And then we need to try and have both of them together at that point. And that was the green circuit. So if I do... Oh! Something's getting trashed. Oh, it's down the bottom there. Okay. This is because of all the pollution flooding across here. You see how they've filled it in? How long have we been going? A couple of hours or something? They've filled it all in. How annoying. Let's just nip down and stick some more stuff in the chests, because I think I've got a load of ammo still in the tank. I don't know, you're busy building away, and the neighbours come and trash your fence. Let's just I mean, there's lasers here now, so it's not, you know, not a problem. Is this covered by a robot as well? Oh! Yes, it is. So, let's just put 200 in each of these, I guess. And, oh, they've properly trashed it. I bet there's a bot on the way, isn't it? Let's do that. And then get a little bit of extra laser action. I could probably... Could I? Or is it... I think it's high tech, isn't it now? Laser buffs. Maybe put one in there. Is it? Yeah, high tech for laser buffs. Because your lasers, you see, your lasers are high tech weapons then, you see. That's why. High tech weapons. We could even start making uranium now. I've got so much. Because I'm not doing Covrex, I've got so much stuff stacked up in chests. Right. Let us get back on it. So we need 8 of them. And that was... Yeah, so I was doing the steel and green circuits. So if you're coming in there with the green circuits, I make... Is it gone again? No. See, you did the same thing then, see. Okay, I'm going to factory reset it and see if I can have another go messing about with all these things people... All these tips people recommend. Get, you know, use your camera as a webcam and all that sort of stuff. I won't be surprised if I've essentially applied contradictory changes, where I've essentially set one thing that would work and then set another thing that would work, and the two cancel each other out. Right. So, and then do we want? That's the output, isn't it? So I'll just put it down there, I guess. We're not going to be beaconing any of this. Yeah, so that would give us the red circuits, not red circuits, the green circuits, the steel. We need to do the batteries and whatchamacallit. And I think what we'll do is do it on the other side. So I guess if I'm making batteries, I need... I can't remember how many it was. How many do we need? We need 3? No. 3. Okay. So if that's that. Oops. And then they obviously need acid. No. And iron and copper. This is obviously where it turns out all my maths is wrong. So long as it makes some, we'll be okay. Because we don't need enormous amounts. I say we're not doing anything particularly heavy with it, just doing the whole rocket stuff. So, oh crikey, what's up in there? Let's see. Yeah, looks like my chat was frozen for a little while there. So I can't wait to see it all together on Monday. Man, I'm going to have so much to watch as everyone is going to be live or upload video on Monday. Yeah, I think it's like midday. You know, universal time. That people can start uploading. It's basically when the Friday Facts is on. That's kind of the time you're looking at then. So block out the rest of your day. You're wanting to watch it all. I know certainly, as people mentioned, Troopin is spending all day on Glebber. I'm sure it'll do stuff remotely on other planets and sort of show you things, but yeah, if you want to know what the Glebber experience is, then 24-hour stream apparently on Glebber. I'm not entirely sure you can do 24 hours worth of stuff on Glebber without going to other places. That's going to be the challenge of it. What's the one thing artists and Factorio players have in common? They always pretend they're going to finish a project before they restart. A factory is never finished, it is only ever abandoned. Oh, that's all got across. Cool. I feel that I don't mind starting over no matter if it's 50 hours or 500, yeah. The restarting thing is, I'd say, the big thing is that first time, as it were, that, people restart and restart and restart. And I say that's the one to kind of avoid, really. Just push through, that's the thing. Just get it done the first time, and it's very much you learn from your mistakes type game, I would say, Factorio. It's you do it better the next time. Or like me, you just pick completely random, nonsensical, weird ways of doing things each time, and there's no rhyme or reason. Right. You go full on for bus, and then you decide spaghetti's the way to go, and every factory after that is just a spaghetti mess. Which one? Okay, so that will be iron plate. So, what we can probably do, because that bit batteries, that needs to be outputting a bit earlier in the stream, doesn't it? And we're going to run out of the basics. Oops. No. Yes, so we can put couple of geary. Wait, why don't we do it? If I do pipes, maybe there. Pipe. Yeah. And then they can kind of output like that. Oops, like that. And then engines here. Because I can direct insert engines, I think. Wait, is it 4 I need? 4, yeah. Well, I think, obviously. When we discover the maths is all wrong. No fast inserters, marks. Okay. I could go and stand in the robo network and that eventually bring stuff over. Be easier, I think, just to drive up there though. Oh, cracking. 9 days till expansion, 2 days till lots of YouTube content about it. The weekend feels really weird. It is strange, isn't it? I was sort of thinking, I mean, the Friday Facts, they've been running for like over a year now, and it feels both like absolutely ages. It's been loads and loads of stuff. When I think about the content in all the Friday Facts, I'm going to go back to base, I think, and restock, and I can blather on a bit as well. Yeah, the amount of stuff, as it were, that we found out about and has been revealed and all that sort of stuff has been amazing. But it also feels like yesterday, I mean, it was strange actually when I always remember when they stopped doing them from version 1 because it felt I had this routine going because basically on like a Sunday is when I would read through the Friday Facts. I wouldn't actually read them on a Friday. I'd read through because it was more mundane. Was the thing. There weren't bit massive reveal after massive reveal. A lot of them were like, well, we've decided to tweak the recipe of, you know, mining drills or something. It's like, you know, almost banal stuff by comparison. And I had this routine where I'd have a really long Sunday breakfast, where I would say read the Friday Facts myself. I mean, sometimes I would read it before, if it was an exciting one, but so read it through myself and then watch Exterm's video, you know, kind of going through it as well, because it was like useful to get almost a second perspective on it, you know, a sort of a, you know, I interpret it a different way type stuff going on, you know. But yeah, and then they stopped doing them, and I was like, well, what am I going to do with my Sunday mornings now? Truman said he had a modded game when he starts on Clever instead of Nalvis. Oh, okay. Our part will be coal, so no military science. Okay. He's actually starting on Clever, is he? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought he was literally, you know, like I'm going to do, where it's like a prepped file, essentially. I didn't know he was starting on Clever. That's interesting. That will be fun for him then, because the pentapods will be, interesting thing to deal with. But then he's a man who loves a pistol, isn't he? So I'm sure he'll get a massive collection. I feel that I don't mind. Oh, thank you for the raid, please, Pompatix. Very kind. Welcome all, welcome all. I'm really surprised to see a big Friday Facts, as I thought it was going to be like Quality of Life or like Optimization for the last one. So next week, I guess I should put the one. I didn't put it in the video because I'm less convinced about it. Next week, I wouldn't be surprised if you are avoiding spoilers. I wouldn't be surprised if next week is the end game, that they do the final big reveal. And I say I don't think it's all that big really, but your mileage may vary. But if you are trying to avoid spoilers, so I don't know why you're watching this if you are, but if you're trying to avoid spoilers for those two, it might be end game in next week. The other option is the trailer, but I don't know that they might not wait to do the trailer until after it's released. But yeah, so if you are worried about spoilers, then avoid the other one. I'm also seeing other follows that it doesn't appear to have told me about. So Absolute, thank you very much for the follow a couple of hours ago. I imagine you've gone by now. Restub, and these look like they're ones from before, since between weekends. So Funkulus, thank you for the follow yesterday. If you catch this, and then Touchy Black and Beard and Coffee. It's a great username. X Shailen, and oh, it's got a sub there. I guess that was a resub. Robocore, and who else? Crikey. Tangy Y. Oh, look, well, Frogbeer was on Sunday, wasn't it? So, Kendry F. Bow. So, welcome all if you are watching again or you're catching up on VODs. Thank you for the follows. Hello, Charlene. Welcome to the chat, and hope you're doing well. Oh, and so I was expecting the Viking Girl Friday Facts. Maybe they even scrapped it. Which is the Viking Girl? Viking Girl Friday Facts. Do you mean where they, you know, having like a female engineer? Favorite space age planet. So it comes with a caveat that I've not played a lot on a few of them. I've done a lot of cheating basically in order to see how the system mechanics work. So in terms of the experience of landing there, building a planet up from the beginning, etc., etc. But I would say my favourite of what I've played is Folgora. I really enjoyed the whole sorting mechanic, the whole like working the game in reverse. Essentially, I found it really fun. Basically, it was very, very interesting to do, and as I say, very fun. I think, yeah. So I would say Folgora was probably my favourite of the planets I played, but I say it does come with a huge caveat that I wouldn't say I'd experienced it enough to really give a definitive decision. Socially British, I can't even describe it. No. Thank you, I guess. The tech suit robot image that is basically a 1x1 pixels. JG drew over it on Discord to be a Oh, that. Ah. Well, maybe there is a big reveal. You're asking Baker Magician about a big reveal. Maybe what that is a big reveal. In fact, yeah, I think that probably does count. So yeah, that one is interesting. That is a interesting thing. Thinking about that then, would there be any others that fall into that? So it's like the slight problem is I've sort of got used to some of the things, especially as I say, cheating it all in and just having all of the cool stuff. What else might fall into that category? I suppose things you don't really have a clue about is how the turrets and stuff are to play with. So the combat post. There's a big one on that as well that you don't have a clue about. So it's weird. You sort of essentially get used to certain things, and I've literally been playing it for what 3 weeks or something, 4 weeks. But yeah, the suit is or the arm. That tiny, as you say, that 1x1 pixel, whatever it was that we were all speculating about. That is interesting. When you get to see that, I'd be interested to see your reactions to it. But what else? I'm just trying to think if there's anything like that I say I've sort of gotten used to. And there is a big one in combat that is interesting, and how the actual turrets and the gun versions of them work. Is quite interesting and quite fun. Would there be anything else on that? I mean, they told you about the whole how prod modules are made, level 3 prod modules, because that's weird. That feels very, very weird. I don't know. You'll have to quiz me on Monday or Tuesday rather, on the live stream maybe, when I can just blurt it all out. So more belt. And more rail was the thing, I think. They restocked me quite quick then. We must be getting Oh, I also did a research, so I think they're a lot quicker. The Viking Girl. I didn't know that's what that was. Are we still excited for the official release so you can experience it with the whole community? Yeah, I quite like the idea. I don't know if you saw it on Reddit. I don't know if it's made it onto Discord and stuff as well, about the whole putting in a particular seed value and everyone basically plays the same map. I thought that was really a cute idea. I might actually do that as well. But yeah, I don't. So obviously I've mentioned about doing the whole, first 3 days, first 3 planets. It's now looking like I will have to work, not because there's anything for me to do, but because my boss is going on holiday. I wasn't massively impressed with that, but my boss won't be there, and the rest of the team is horribly inexperienced, so I kind of need to cover. But yeah, so I might only be able to do those short streams, but in terms of after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know whether... I obviously want to play that file, that save continuing on, but whether I do it over the time I've got on holiday or whether I just play myself, I don't know. I don't want to sort of burn... I've got a million things to do as well. But yes, I am very excited as well. It's like a vicarious excitement as well. A sort of a I'm excited because you're all excited sort of thing. Can I ask? I mean, if you can tell it, like, do you get a lot of blue circuit from scrap? I mean, if it's good to for the mega base, then making them. You can actually look up. So the percentages, I don't think they've changed from what they showed on the Friday Facts. I don't remember them being different. You do get quite for how expensive blue circuits are. You do get quite a few of them. It's not. There's a bit of an element to it, and this is one of the reasons I enjoyed it on Folgora, is that it's like balancing it all is the tricky part, because you'll sort of go where you're just like drowning in blue circuits, and you're like, I got recycle blue circuits. I got to get rid of blue circuits. Why? That just broke my brain. Basically, it was just like, literally the thing you're striving to get the most of and don't want to waste a single one of, you're basically just sticking in a machine that turns them into, red circuits. And so there is this thing where you're having to balance it all, even with bots and taking that approach is really fun, basically. Is saying, right, well, we're drowning in blue circuits now. We need a way of recycling them into red circuits. And do I recircle the red ones into greens? And how do I control all of that? And do I do it with belt filtering, or do you do bots or what have you? And the particular challenge with bots, of course, is you're on a map, you're on a world where power is literally this thing that you get, every so often from lightning strikes, sort of thing. So bots have this, huge drain, and you've then got to manage the power if you're going to use bots, or you can use belts. So it's a really interesting challenge to weigh up. I'm trying to work out which one the steel is. It's that one. So yeah, I found it to be really fun. But I think most people are more excited for Volcanus, aren't they? I don't know that there's a bit. It's interesting that I would say that people's, the sort of excitement for Volcanus has never really waned. If you see what I mean. That the other reveals seem to. I don't think it's changed anyone's mind, as it were, as to which it seems to be the populist choice. And it's like, that's just fascinating to me. It's like, well, why? Basically, why? Why are they? Why have none of the other planet reveals kind of topped it in a sense? So I need green circuits and engines. So I just need green circuits as well. Do I want to bring them in like that? Could take that closer. But yeah, that's sort of fascinating to me. It's sort of like, well, and actually, because it feels a bit like, is there an element to it that it's just the pure novelty? That this was the first one we found out. I don't know why I did that. First one you found out about, and so it's just automatically the most interesting or what have you. Don't really want to do that actually, because I give myself a headache with the lube. Or is it just that it hits on a thing of, because the Foundry is just awesome. It's just that thing of that's going to make, this whole game you end up, focusing on making insane amounts of iron and copper and steel in particular. And that this is a machine that comes along and just does that for you in, no, it just makes it not a problem in a sense. And so that's why it's just so appealing, so interesting, or so, desirable, if you see what I mean. So we actually probably better off belting there, and they're therefore in the wrong place. I don't have my bots on. Yeah. So we need green circuits on there. Where are green circuits meant to be? The top one. And then where the heckins was I going to add them in? No, I didn't put that. No, that's the way. So, and then Something must have been going on there. Must be. Okay. I'm here thinking about how the train updates alone would be worth playing for. Expansion must be awesome. Yeah, it is. It is great. I mean, you get so much of it free as well. The version 2 version. Oh, hello, please, politics. I wonder how fast I will forget 1.1 gameplay. I also just do a last playthrough in vanilla. Yeah, I think I saw you doing that actually. But yeah, it's confusing. I'm totally honest. I don't know how you've been finding it, but it's particularly things like keybinds and stuff. There are some where I just can't get the old keybinds out of my head. And others where I come back to this and I've just got so used to the new way of doing things. So it's like some things are just automatically, that's a massive improvement. I'm, never going to want to go back to doing it, the old way again. And then others, it's like, just, it's not actually improved and they've just changed it for the change's sake of change, as it were. Yeah. I feel also play without Space Age. I think it's worth playing a playthrough. I think particularly, and this is why I think I've said this before, to me, like quality and elevated rails to a lesser degree, they are, quality is like an entire game, just playing a normal game and trying to build a legendary factory is just is a massive challenge, I think that's not to be underestimated. Also slightly, I think you need to be, if you're trying to do that, you're talking challenge run if you're doing your entire factory as legendary, because some of the improvements are just pointless. Having walls that are legendary walls and have therefore a little bit extra health, it's just like so useless. It's almost almost silly. But yeah, other stuff is just like mega improvements, and you kind of want to do them whatever version you're playing. And I would say that's probably the general thing on quality. But yeah, and others, it's like trying to build quality of certain items is actually kind of a massive deal, particularly as a legendary quality. I'm even using the names. That's how much I've changed. Although I only remember the legendary one. I think you missed a question from your favourite space age planet, or I missed the answer. I did answer that one. So that was Falgora. Basically, is my the favourites of the ones I played on. I think Volcanus is most anticipated because it's most similar to Nauvis. If we had random sorting from the beginning of Factorio, people might like Falgora more. It's a wild change. I feel it's all looking great, but for me, it's just the idea of casting lava and the worm. It's just amazing. Oh yeah, I don't mean that. I don't mean it in a. I think it is great. I think it's a really, there's a little bit where it's a bit obvious in a sense, and that was said in the very first Friday Facts of like, well, what are you? It's just a lava planet. There's nothing. It's not some mad idea like the pentapods or something. But yeah, it's what was I saying? It's it's a great, it's a well implemented, it's a good thing. It's I'm not saying that like it's I never did batteries, did I? I did do batteries, but I didn't hook up the pipes. But yeah, it's sort of it's just fascinating to me that has stuck as being the things that people are most excited about. But yeah, so I'm not saying it's Volcanism is bad or anything. Just the opposite. It's great, but I say it's just interesting that it's the one that seems to have just never really lost its luster, as it were. I'm playing Space Block. How far do you think landfill goes here? I don't know. You reckon they're going to make another DLC, or do you reckon they finally completed their vision of Factorio? So somebody, I can't remember who mentions it a few times, there is an interview with Coverex where he sort of talks about not in a concrete way about some of the things they're thinking about. Um, one of which is basically rewriting C++. It's not quite that. It's basically the compiling side of it, really. But yeah, that I would say has not necessarily got all of the buy-in you might expect in the company. So I know that's one of his things he wants to do. But essentially, what it says on that video is that, well, I could talk about that at some point, but essentially he's I think he's most interested in making an RPG, but I'm not sure it means RPG in a Baldur's Gate or anything like that type way. It's possibly more aligned maybe with a survival game. It means RPG in a stat, and he actually says this, like a stat built, like a leveling game in a sense, So I say like you would have in an RPG or something, an action RPG, I suppose, where you like Diablo or something like that, where you're very focused on. Is the camera going again? No, it's okay. On leveling up your character all the time, getting better gear, better weapons, that sort of grindy type of thing. So watch that interview. It's I'm sure you can find it, and somebody may have a share to it. So my first planet would be Volcanus, Fulgora, and Gleba. You mean in order of going to the Volcanus, Fulgora, and Gleba? So I think that is the popular choice. Have we run out of stuff again? Oh. These dang monsters coming round here chewing on my factory. I should get some more lasers down there. What I should be doing is, well, what I would normally do if I was is like wall myself in and stuff, and then just make sure we had properly supplied walls and all that sort of stuff. But so I'm more focused on getting this done so that we can get the rocket launched, really. So I've put 100 in there, 100 in there. It is all covered by radio boards, but let's just put it on. I guess there's some more incursions, aren't there? No. They're coming for me. They're coming for me. But yeah, that seems to be the popular thing. It'd be interesting to see if it changes when people, have played it for a bit. The whole Volcanus, Fulgora, Gleba. People just like literal hell planet in all games, perhaps. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that's a good, strong part of it. It is a evocative image, isn't it? Sort of a red, fiery lava planet is say a kind of evocative thing. Maybe the Doomslayer's hanging out there. You never know. When Demolisher was revealed, I wanted to see it up close, run like a chicken. It's kind of, that's a good description of how it worked, kind of in the LAN party, because people did sort of encounter this thing for the first time, and it is enormous. Even the I can't say that, can I? But yes, they are enormous. They're just huge things, and it just completely ignores you basically when you first encounter it. It only attacks you if you attack it. So it is a thing that you decide to take on, which is an interesting twist on things. And yeah, it was a shock for people, I think. Obviously, they all immediately, because they didn't realise that whole "it won't attack you" thing, and so they all just instantly tried to shoot at it, and it just sort of turned around and flattened them, Good old wormy boy. I haven't noticed any trains coming in with stuff particularly. I don't know what I've done wrong, but I've obviously done something wrong somewhere. We've got the fluid ones coming in, but not the rest of them. And why is that not got anything in the pipes? Oh, because it's not been here. Maybe Oh! I wonder if that's the first... Oh, it would be the first loot drop-off I've done. So this... Oh, there you go. Well, that's not working because it's not working. Full and empty. Here she comes. Excellent. And I know you've been. Hang on a sec. What we got there? Oh, and I don't actually think they will extend this. I don't think there will be a second DLC for... Well, there might be a DLC. I could see them doing something like that, a bit smaller scale. I don't think they'll do an expansion. I think you could expand it. You know, I think they could add more. But I think if they did anything, they do, you know, add one extra planet. Because there is one that... It sounds like there was one planet that like got completely chopped with a whole load of mechanics to it. From some of the things they've said in the Friday Facts, but you know, so one option might be to sort of introduce that planet, you know. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're probably done in a sense, and they might move on to something else. I think 2.0 will be the last unless there is a new game engine that'll make it more. I think that would be. I mean, that's what I sort of assumed they would do. Is that they would literally go back to the drawing board and like they could do their own 3D Factorio, you know, their own Satisfactory. But so I'm not sure there's a desire to do something different because it's been over a decade, I think, hasn't it? I think I feel they'll use a year or two the quality of life and stuff and that missed. Then another DLC, as I feel that it will not stop. As they are 30 people and I don't see it stopping. That could be that they will do another game. I'm hoping for an in-game option on mod to start on Volcanus. I'm hoping... Oops, no, I've seen that already. I want to take on the biggest wormus with red ammo and poison capsules. Hello, Big Brother Fist. Welcome to the chat. What game is this? This is a game called Factorio. So this is... a factory building and management game. If you've not seen it before, I am playing through. The last time I will play through on the vanilla game, version 1.1 as it is, version 1, because there is an expansion coming, which is due to launch a week on Monday. So this is the next, or that will be the next big thing basically in this game. I think I'm just waiting for bots to do stuff, aren't I? But I'm also seeing... there's bits of stuff that's out of range. That wouldn't help. Okay. Let's see if my bots can fill in any gaps. I'm stunned as to why you're not coming. Empty cargo of 30. Why are you not demanding... sulfuric acid. Oh, because it's full. Okay, that's no problem then. Lube is here. And has obviously had a couple of trips. Cool. And iron plate. You're not unloading because there's no boxes for you to unload into. We'll let that excuse pass then. Why does that not look like it's not set up properly? Okay, it isn't. So that should be iron plate. That should be 4,000. And do I want more than a train? It's not going to be used in a lot of stuff, do we? So let's avoid the whole train issue. This one is not set up either. This needs to be 8,000. And green circuits. Train's worth, let's try that. And this is all missing. Plastic is not set up either. Would that be 4,000? I think it sticks around, isn't it? So, plastic there. One train is fine. Now, nothing going on here. Well, there wouldn't be, because there is no... Oh, wait. There is a steel train, isn't there? Yes. Where is the steel train? Ah! We need a new train. Okay. Because our only one is going to the science area. Right. Ooh, no. Put that on there. Oh, I've not done fuel. We need to do that. So, where's this steel train? There. Cool. And then, so you going? Cool. We need to set this up, don't we? So that would be 4,000. No, sorry, 2,000. Oh. And then that needs to be steel. That's what I'm getting wrong. There we go. And then, oh, this isn't built in at all either, is it? Then why is there no train? This one we do want to be higher. So we put that as... Oh, it is already 2. Train limit 0. Oh. Why is that set on 0? So 2 trains have decided to come. Excellent. Should all kick into gear when we get the copper in. Satisfactory UX subpar could use Factorio dev quality of life experience. That's interesting you say that, actually. I always kind of felt the opposite in a sense, that the satisfactory I suppose user experience you're saying, isn't it? Yeah. I'd say the satisfactory UI, user interface, is probably a lot better because, yeah, it's just more, shall we say, people of that, with that experience in it. But user experience, interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, that would see them doing. Oops. Access gears as transport of rotation of power would also be great. Big modular buildings and more explicit mechanical things could be great as new mechanics. Interesting. Sorry, Pocket Trader, I did not say hello. Hope you're doing well. Oh, I missed the other chat. Sorry. So one DLC with underground mining theme, another with water theme would be great. I think, yeah, I think there's lots of things they could do. I think it's more the sort of, in a sense, getting to one of the problems is, as someone, I can't remember who it said, but you have a point where the engine basically stops being able to support it, in a sense, in that, you're getting to, this game is incredibly, optimized and performant and amazing, and the more they put in, the more difficult that is to achieve. And it's kind of why I think, I've said this a lot of times, that we're getting buildings where you get insane productivity out of a single building, because then, most people are going to be happy with buildings, like half a dozen of them, and they're happy. It's only the mad people who do these, insane mega bases and that is always a smaller proportion of the user base, where they're going to go, I want to put down 1,000 foundries and produce 1 million science a minute, sort of thing. And because they're a small group, and they're the type of people who focus on how can I make my factory better and optimize it myself, you're sort of giving them a it's like self-benefiting loop, in a sense of they're the sorts of people who see that as a challenge and want to do it themselves. They don't go, this game's terribly optimized, I'm playing something else. because that's the type of people they are, if you see what I mean. So yeah, so I say, you get to a point, I think, with it where the engine is the issue. Whoa, that was a close train. And so I think if you added too many, if you ended up with 10 planets or something, I think it just wouldn't be doable, basically. It's the dev team to give it a go, but I don't know, it just feels like that's probably just a little bit of a stretch too far. But I think something like, like underground mining as just a one thing on one planet, that could be a thing. A kind of extra DLC or a 2.1 or something like that. Making a mess of that. And yeah, I think if they were to do anything, it would be of that type of thing. It'd be a smaller, they're not going to add in too much else if they were doing another one. Right, so let's copy this down here. I hear a lot of clamour for a Factorio style mod. The devs are undoubtedly aware, and it's a good focus as it sounds like a space age exploring a ton of new design space. I hope Factorio gets updated. I really want to revive my aesthetic Factorio series. That I love doing stuff like that. It was the aspect I tried. It was kind of my problem with Satisfactory. Getting back to that it was never. It wasn't really about the whole. The scale was nuts, and so you ended up having to build these massive factories. And it got unfun. But my problem with it really, so why I kind of threw my tantrum was, they didn't give you the tools to do that basically. So they didn't give you the good blueprinting basically. What we got instead was this half-assed, I guess it's technically blueprinting, but it's not what I want type of thing. And so I know there is a bigger blueprinter in there and that sort of thing. So I'm hoping the combination of smaller challenges, because I really, when you watch the videos that the content creators do of the factories they designed, I want to give that a go. That really appeals to me. It's just that they do so much of it manually, because the blueprinting is just rubbish, that's where it falls apart as a thing I want to do, So purely aesthetic to add a little bit of flair wouldn't as I say, I don't think Wooby will add that, because the impression I got is that really isn't something GoVrex has any interest in. If they did, they'd be doing it themselves, type of thing. As in, a dev would do it themselves. But yeah, I don't really know whether, I don't know if Factorio is a maintain mod or anything, but I really hope someone picks it up if it isn't. Aquila looks pretty good when you got the heat pipe. I mean, you sort of saw it in the video, but when it's got the glowing heat pipes all over your factory, when it's dark, that's pretty cool. The UI is satisfactory indeed, no question about that. But building any normal looking functional factory takes too much effort. Yeah, absolutely, 100% agree. Yeah. I always had this theory with Satisfactory that it was really designed to be multiplayer. That's sort of where they pitched it, because it always felt like just too big an expectation for a single person to be building all of that. And I know they said eventually that they'd ramped up the requirements just for early access version to give people a continuous challenge, for that year, weeks, days, months, years, where it takes you. But It did always feel to me kind of like, well, really, this is multiplayer scale, you know? Yeah. Okay, let's rearrange that a bit. You know, dividing the jobs up between half a dozen people just seemed to make more sense to me than, you know, not half a dozen, 4, isn't it, is the limit on that. But, well, not limit, the recommended number. But yeah, I say, which is why then the fact that the multiplayer kind of didn't really work properly in the full release was so that I would say is clunky. We actually started with a friend playing, you know, the multiplayer game, and that was horrible. The way they've done it, you know, compared to how this does multiplayer, was just horrible. You know, it was on Steam, so I don't know if the Epic version or whatever is better, but that was just really bad. I say it was just, I don't know why. Yeah, it's just a very strange, clunky, you know, non-functional way of doing it, basically. And I was kind of stunned, really. Let's see. So we need to go that way, but I also need to kind of do something with you, don't I? We're getting there. We're getting there. There is yellow science on the horizon. What time is it? It's very nearly 6 o'clock when I would normally be ending. So we're not going to launch any rockets, which kind of means I either need to keep going for many, many hours, or we're coming back tomorrow. And to be honest, both are probably on the horizon. Okay, let's see. If we just stick in a little box here. I don't know why I've come up with this madness when I've got perfectly functional other ways of doing it, but there you go. Comes of having one. Yeah. Don't know, do that. One train on this side, basically. What a mess. Wow. Okay. And trains coming. Yeah, so I was kind of shocked at how bad getting multiplayer to work in Satisfactory was. Cool. Not cool, because we missed a bit. There we go. So we got copper, we got steel, we got plastic, green circuits, iron plate, lube, and sulfuric acid. So, are we making gold science yet? Yeah, that really also how I feel. I can imagine an Angel Bob run in Space Age is going to be insane. I don't know if a lot of the big mods will be overhauled, because there is that thing that they have accident. There you go. Cock-ups ahoy. Where you split your player base, you know, where you end up with. What are we missing here then? Oh, genius. Okay. Where basically, you know, you've basically got a lot of your players with it's like even Erendov has said they're not even, you know, they're not sure if they're going to do like SpaceX as an expansion for, you know, as a overhaul for Space Age, because one of the things is like how many people are actually going to play it, you know. So I do need to get the modules and stuff in, please. Get that all running. So yeah, so I don't know, you know, will Angels and Bobs work with it? Because well, I can't really say that, but yeah, it's not as simple as just going, you know, enable it for version. I mean, it'll work with version 2. I'm sure. I'm sure that will be done, but it's not as simple as. Oh, it also works for Space Age. It doesn't. It's not. It's not simple to do that. They have. Why are you not working? Why is software? Oh. Oh dear. Why are you not outputting? Batteries. Batteries? Oh, I've not connected then. Okay. Fine. Oh, okay. And now we're out of pipe. It's going well. It's going well. I've finally caught up with you. Right. Yes. So, I say normal plan, normal schedule would be finishing basically about now. And we have made some gold science, but we're a bit off doing a rocket. So we want that, and that is unfortunately 500 of your finest gold sciences. Okay, that's going to make that a lot easier. And then that one's 1,000 sciences, and I got to make them before I can even do that one. So we have a couple of thousand science that we need to make, which is basically a train full. Which is basically a train full. One thing we could do to make help that along is add a load more labs. It's kind of a bit thin, labs-wise, here. Certainly double that up. Absolutely no problem. So we're going to have to go and add them in. I'm sure we've got, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 16 labs in stock, I'm sure. I don't know why there's a single robot bot there. I know these are, you know, yellow chests, but I've not connected it to anything. The risk, I guess, of leaving it till tomorrow is that we don't make it, basically. Because I am going to have to finish this weekend. So do I... Let's keep going for a bit, see if we can get actual gold science up and running. But if you watched last week's, you know that I will quickly run out of steam. Hello, Bee Brunny, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. What's happening? We are on the cusp, the verge, the very edge of making our first gold science, if any of this works, which it's not doing. Why are you not getting batteries still? I connected that. Oh, we're missing the pipe, aren't we? We might actually make our actual gold science. I think maybe that needs to be that way around. Come on. Good day, I'm off to play some Factorio myself. Have fun. Hope you have a good one, Smosk. Cool, so here we go. First Flowbot frames coming in. I didn't put this... We haven't got even a train to fill up yet. Yeah. Rubbish. And I've not limited that properly. Crikey. Did I not just copy the purple one? Guess not. Guess not. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah, so let's get a... Oh, I haven't got any trains. Any in the tank. Any in the tank. Look, but gold science. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I'm thinking of doing is, if we get this up and running, I'll manually send the train, because I need to set the schedule and blah, blah, blah. But once I get it running, I will basically leave it to fill up the train, or turn it off, so that I don't do any of the sciences, maybe. And we can do that next time. But it'll have a train's worth of, you know, science, which should be a couple of thousand. But what I'll probably do is go out and clear out the biters. Oh, is the camera working? Yeah. I'll go and sort of clear out the biters, basically, because obviously they are encroaching into the agreed no encroachment zone. All around there. They're really easy to kill, actually. I've gone a bit mad. I've kind of done it as if it is space age, and I'm trying to do my stay ahead of the power curve type of thing, and I've ended up an absolute beast in terms of wiping them out. It's like I keep forgetting as well that the nests are super squishy, and that, you know, they're just no problem at all. Obviously, you know, we're getting big biters and stuff. You know, I'm not saying the combat's easy as such, but I'm thinking about the buffed ones in version 2 and Space Age, where it takes a lot more shots to kill them if you get them too evolved. So full and empty, say, but we won't let it go. Actually, let's just do. Let's just send it to make sure it goes to the right place, not pick up, drop off. Make sure it goes to the right place. It can get there. Blah 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 blah, and then we'll knock it on the head. And as I say, I will let it fill up the train while I go and kill the biters off basically tonight, I think. Because I've also had enough of editing the video. Looks like it's going the right way. I was quite sad to hear there's no enemies on Aquilo, but considering it's based on Legacy Distinct mod, it made sense. Perhaps they could have the Gribbly spawn near the rare resources, and you just have to defend around that part of the ocean. I think they tried a few things. Destination full. Okay. Let's bring you back manually then. Or maybe if I just... No, because it's set on a logic, isn't it? So if I temporarily disconnect this, then that should send it. No. No. Come back, please. I need you to be filled. I'm pleased it's sort of functional, at least. I kind of did the maths, as I say, to work it out so that we could support it. So we should have enough ore patches and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, we'll get this guy back. Yeah, so I think they did try a lot of ideas with the Gribbly. I think it was just they came eventually to the realisation that it's just too much, you know, too much to do on top of the planet itself, and that was it, really. It wasn't that any of them were bad or, you know, didn't work or anything like that. It was more just too much to do, basically. Okay, so I'm going to pop the schedule up. The schedule is wrong, basically. I will fix it for tomorrow's, but I forgot, basically. And that schedule says, and should know, why has the schedule not come up? The schedule... Oh, okay. My Stream Deck's not working. Brilliant. I wonder what's gone wrong there then. So, because it was working earlier on. Where's the thing? There we go. Yes, so we're actually obviously on the 12th of the 13th. As I say, I've completely forgot to update this. So we will be back tomorrow about 3 o'clock-ish, and we will go until we launch a rocket. I say I want to put a satellite in it, but once we get logistic systems, I need to pause that. Otherwise we get some attacks or something. It shouldn't be too tricky to put all of that together. And I am literally just going to launch a rocket. I may not even do it anywhere near the science thing. We'll just do it back at the manufacturing area, basically. So yes, we will put together a botch together rocket silo building type of thing. Get ourselves a rocket launched, basically. Yes, so that's the plan for tomorrow. And I will just keep going until it's done, I think, because I'm going to have to. I can't stream the next weekend. Q&A live stream will not be happening on the 14th now. That will be on the 15th. I will play video live tomorrow. That will be, at the very least, the first half of the Q&A session. The reason for that is it's proving to be a struggle to get it done, basically, because you asked a lot of questions and I've prattled on a lot and it's a big edit. So that will go live on the 14th, but maybe, I'll just chop it in half, basically, and do the rest on the 15th. And the live stream will be on the 15th. So I may well, if there'll be questions I'm sure asked on that video and later ones that I haven't recorded and stuff like that I can pick up on the live stream. I'll also have the opportunity, I will basically have my my game with the cheat mode on, and I can kind of build some things in the background. If people ask questions, and I can just spawn stuff in and we can see if I haven't got answers to them. Yes, so as I say, 14th definitely for a video, 15th maybe for another one, and the live stream on the 15th, the Tuesday, whether that second video happens or not. Because the other problem I got tomorrow is I've got to go to a different office to work, and I won't be back until really quite late. My Let's Play series should be going up as well across this week. I don't know when it will start. It should start in theory on Monday. Certainly the first episode is ready to go. With the problem I'm having with the Q&A one, I've not had a chance to edit that. So yeah, they will start going live, and I may well flood your feed with them. They may well all come out like on the Thursday and Friday and Saturday, Sunday or something. So apologies for that, but as I say, it's just practicalities of working around my work. What's the other thing? The next weekend, I will not be doing any streaming. There may not even be coverage of the Friday Facts because I've got to go to another birthday party for a family member. So I will be away all of that weekend. I've also got to deliver the PC I've been building for my dad. And then the 21st, 22nd and 23rd are the big days where I'm doing a Planet stream. If you go on my YouTube, you will see a community post where you can vote on the planet to go to. We will go to them in the voted for order. So most votes will be the 21st, 22nd will be the second most, third most. I mean, you know how numbers work, so you can probably work all of that out. Whether I do any live streams after that, for the Thursday, Friday, what have you, I don't know. I have a lot to catch up on, so it may well pick up like at the weekend, and I'll keep that save going as a space age save. But the point is that file will be, we will start on the Monday with having a platform, and basically you're telling me where to go. So if you want to check the planets out in person, as it were, then we can do that, and we will do that. So that's all of the self-promo bit, I think. If you are new here, if you've not encountered me before, you're just joining this, you're seeing what's going on. I have a YouTube channel where I have VODs for all of my live streams that I've done of loads of Satisfactory series, loads of Factorio series, as well as Satisfactory, Tectonica, Dyson Sphere Program, lots of building and management games, if you wanted something in the background in particular. And that also as it says there, has my Friday Facts videos where there's a whole archive of them. You can probably get through them, I think, by release day for the expansion, just about. But I tend to go the opposite to the way a lot of YouTubers do. A lot of YouTubers do a summary, and I go the other way, and I read the full thing out. I do like try and give more detail on what they're talking about in terms of if it's something technical, explain it. And up until I started being a beta tester, I was also doing a massive amount of speculation and ideas and stuff, so you might want to watch those through and see just how much I got wrong, basically. So yes, all of the self-promo stuff done. If you just want to check. Oh, not done any. Yeah, cool. So all checks, all the chat is up to date. So that's it. As I say, if you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed and you might consider coming back for another. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers. And is that button working now? No, button's not working. Stream Deck seems to have died. Okay, cool. Let's press the other button.